Hello, everybody. Are you ready for another crazy blind box? Alright, so we know what we're doing. We're reviewing blind boxes. They were $100 a piece. I got 20 of them, and we're going to put them face to face with each other and see which one wins. I will only find out who made this box after I review it. My camera's there. My face is there. I look there a lot because I'm a narcissist. The comic is there, but you guys will see it here on a camera that hopefully continues to work. And this is all work over here and over there. So I look over there a lot. Because of the work. Alright, let's get started. There we go. This was actually Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. Conway wrote this. This is my first completed series, so very near to my heart. This series is called Firestorm Volume 2. There's a very short-lived Firestorm Volume 1. They changed the name of this to from Fury of Firestorm to Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, or something like that. Very complicated. And it was changed at 50, like 96 or something. Yeah, the great writing. Really enjoy the character. If you want to start out, there's some super collectible comics in this series that people have lying around for like 30, 40 bucks. Well worth it. And yeah, we have number 2. This is the Bison storyline. It started out and you got this weird poop creature over here. So the Black Bison is the guy on the white horse. I think he shows up again later, but maybe? I think so. Not a remarkable saga in itself, but a great way to kick off a series. It's great. It's like 150 comics or something. Good size series. Mask 2 and Mask 1. It's kind of cool. So I grew up in South Africa. I did not have. The camera does not do this justice. This weird glare is the posters on my ceiling for Comic-Con. The colors are really good on this comic. So growing up in South Africa, we didn't have Mask. The cartoon in the 80s and 90s, a lot of cartoons came out with associated comic books and toy lines. Mask was certainly one of those. The Real Ghostbusters is another one. There's a lot of them, actually. Yeah, so this is very cool. Venom kicks off right in the beginning with this comic series and carries its way through. It's 1985. So at some point they're going to talk about drugs. It's just the way it is. Okay, what do we have next? Oh, I know this. This is a Alex Ross cover. It's cool because it's a foil one. Oh, you guys can see it, yeah. So good coloring on that. Really good. Another really high quality comic book. So Image, or should I say Top Cow, didn't own this franchise off the bat. It was a Gold Key franchise in 1975, and then in 2002, I think it was 2002, they reprinted the stories from the 75 series with new art. slight story changes. It's very cool. Beautiful cover. Love Alex Ross. Sometimes hit or miss, but most of the times he hits. Yeah, that's really cool. The story's unique as well. It's a good story. Wow, my mail guy just showed up and like almost took out his truck on the curb. Okay, if you've been collecting Modern Age for any amount of time, you would have come across this cover. Germany's Wildcats Covert Action Teams is what the CAT stands for. Alright. Let's talk about this. This is with Image. Germany's first ownership of a character or a piece of, with only his art. It went on to form part of the greater group of heroes that Germany formed called Wildstorm in 94? No, 98. 97. In the late 90s, Germany handed over the rights to all of the Wildcat stuff and Wildstorm to DC. And so that's why you see the Wildcats member Grifter now in DC books. And of course, Germany went on to be the head of DC and still is until AT&T takes over some more. This is meant to be... Oh, this is also the first appearance of Wetworks, which was another Image franchise that's done... I don't think it's done very well, but they will say it did well. Wildcats also ended up in a cartoon in 1994. That's where it came from. And this was meant to be the first enhanced foil cover. And by enhanced foil cover, they mean the prism-like cover that you see here. Yeah. I think it's Excalibur or someone shortly thereafter did one as well. Yeah. Oops. Hit the camera. Hulk McFarlane. This has Hulk pitted against the Leader towards the end of the story. Good story. Great Hulk story. Yeah. I'm not going to say a whole lot more about that. Yeah, you have Absorbing Man. It's good. I feel like Absorbing Man was kind of a cheap person to create, or character to create, but who knows. Another great Hulk cover. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Who remembers Scorpio? Okay, so this is a complicated comic. 2 reasons. It's the death of the... What is his name? Elf with a gun? Elf with a gun. And then... It was also the first full appearance of Nick Fury. Now, let's talk about this. A character called Sergeant Nick Fury had a comic back in the 60s, 70s. That is meant to be the Nick Fury. I debate whether or not this is actually the first full Nick Fury comic book, but hey, who am I to argue? Oh, Sonya. 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 Red Sonya, She Devil with a Sword, number 2. So, Red Sonya was first introduced in the Conan comic book. And then I think she was in a Marvel Presents, and then her own Marvel story. And then they passed Red Sonja off to Dynamite. I'm not sure about the deal. I don't know what they got out of the deal. It's weird to pass off a character. They never could take Red Sonja to where Red Sonja wanted to go. Because overall, Marvel's meant to be a family-friendly title. That's why they created Max, so they can do weird things over at Max. So maybe they just felt that Dynamite would do a better job and not be afraid of taking the character where it needs to go. And Dynamite to date has proven that they are not afraid to do that. Now, recently, Marvel's shown a little more interest, like I said, with Max. We'll see if they bring it back in-house. It's a beautiful comic again. Whoever this person is has got some beautiful comics. We can talk as well about how hard it is to price raw comics from Silver and Bronze era because of the quality. I'll raise this up just a squinch. There we go. Okay. Do I guess or do I look? My guess is that it's a symbiote Spider-Man comic. It was much easier to guess 5 years ago when there was 1 or 2 symbiotes. Okay, so it is Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality number 5. And it is the Comics Elite Comics version, which I think we can all agree is a ridiculous name for a comic. Greg Land. Person has a sticker on the back saying Greg Land. I should have just looked at the back and said, oh, it's Symbiote Spider-Man 5. Symbiote Spider-Man 5, not the same as Symbiote Spider-Man Alternate Reality, or whatever it was called. Alien Reality, number 5. So, Comics Elite Comics. Wait, where did I go? Ah, crap, I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, there I am. They're kind of second or third place in the variant world to Unknown and maybe Amazing Fantasy. Yeah. So, they're good artists. Greg Land's a great artist. I know this one. This is the life of Miss Marvel, the Unknown variant. find out. Yep. Number 1. Okay. So why... Oh, it's convention exclusive. Wonder what convention. Yeah, so the story here is... it's sort of like... I think she comes flying in from outer space, and then she gets treated in a certain way, and that leads to her having flashbacks about her origin story. It's an interesting read. It kind of ties together the... Oh, that's thick. It kind of ties together the movie era with the comic book era and tries to nullify some of the differences. Yeah. Didn't quite realize how thick this book is until I put it down as I was a stack. There's, I think, 15 books in this pile. So once again, ignore the glare here. So this comic book we've actually seen in this tournament. It was Undiscovered Country 1 and 2. But you'll notice a difference. The one that we reviewed earlier, the pieces of the country were in red, I think. Red. Yeah. So this is the GalaxyCon 501. GalaxyCon is fairly well known on the southeast part of the United States. They started a con in Florida, southern Florida. It did really well. They opened up, I think, 3 more, kind of along the Bible Belt, and then a bigger organization. So they called the one in Florida SuperCon. A bigger organization came in and wanted the name SuperCon, and they also wanted to run the Florida one. So the company handed over the reins. So the other 3 are called GalaxyCon. The one in Florida is called SuperCon, but is not run by the same people now. Long story short, this is a very nice variant. Yeah, the story is a plagued world. 30 years from now, America has walled itself off. I've said this like 4 times, 5 times in the last 3 days. So, and there's kind of these skirmishes between the neighbors to the north and neighbors to the south, and how they're going to get a vaccine and how they're going to solve this whole problem. It's actually, I made a recommendation to a friend just the other day on camera to go and read this because it's really good. It's really, really good. My lack of interest in the story is not due to the story itself, but rather to me seeing so many undiscovered countries lately. Don't take that literally. Tales of Astonish, number 88. Here we have Namor kicking butt. Yeah. It's a okay story. There's a secondary Hulk story in the back, which is okay too. You would think, from the way the labeling is done on the cover, that they are together in a story. They aren't. So this one's got a little more wear on it. It's an earlier silver. Corners, fraying in a few places. It's still a beautiful comic book. This is interesting. Another beautiful comic book. Corners are great on this one. A few ticks, obviously. Definitely. So both auditing or grading companies are a little more forgiving when it comes to early books. They allow extra tick, or they allow extra, squishy corner. There's two variants of this cover. Well, some would call it a variant, some would call it a print error. The green Spider-Man in the top left corner. In some prints, it's dark. It's almost black. Something to look out for. It's like, yeah. I'm not sure if it's the shadows that's continued, and that's why it looks black, or if it's just not painted, but there's that variant. This is Stan Lee and J.R. Sr. And it definitely talks about the period of time and how well Stan Lee did not understand the criminal justice system. So Spider-Man gets arrested. Gwen Stacy's father, George, is part of the arresting group, and he tells them not to unmask him. So while he's having a discussion with Spider-Man about why he should be unmasked in the prison, right? They take him to prison. In the prison, he's having a conversation with Spider-Man about why he should not remain masked. There's a prison riot, and they take George Stacy captive. Spider-Man kicks into high gear and saves the day. They are so grateful that Spider-Man, the #1 vigilante, has stopped the riot and saved George Stacy, that they set him free. Yeah. It's a nice roller coaster to some degree because there's lots of Spider-Man fighting action. So it's good. It's a good romp. Okay, that's it. That's all the comics. I didn't mention the price of any one of them. We'll go through them again real quick, and I'll try to label out some prices. It's about $30. Let me make sure that this is up there. So, yeah. Okay. It's about $15. About 35 on that. 1 in 500. It should be worth more, but it's just how it is. $20 on the Unknown. This did not as well as it should have. From a value point of view, it's about $6. Red Sonja's always a hard sell, even on early bronze or late bronze. It's like $2. $2 comic. Defenders, also a tough sell. Yeah. Oh, like $3. This Hulk's about $2. This Hulk, because of the McFarlane Association, is $2 to $4. This is basically a free comic. But it goes for what, $2, one or $2. We have Ross's work here. This is $8, $10, somewhere in there, somewhere in that range. We have the 2 masks. Now, what's nice about books like this is you can buy them together and you'll save a few bucks. It's about $12 there, and the 2 Firestorms, you're looking at about $10, $8 to $10 there. When I started collecting Firestorm, you could pick up a #1 for like $1 in certain comic book bins. Alright, so what do I think of this person's collection? They've got some really good stories here. Very high quality comics. They take great care of their comic books. Good mix of very modern and bronze and silver. I don't think the price of this comic book blind box allows for anything deeper than a early silver in okay condition. The Amazing Spider-Man 65 is really cool. And so is the Tales to Astonish. The condition is just remarkable in these. You wanna know who it was? We have a thank you note. Okay, here's the rules, guys. These extras do not count. We got a thank you note. We've got some stickers. These will not sway the vote. But Return of Superman. The comic cards that come before this one, called Bloodlines, was awful. Awful. And we have Batman and Robin with some free gum, which I will eat after we read the note. Got a question. How many of you double board your comics? I've noticed it a few times now. I do not. I single board my comics. But I've noticed in a few people's collections, including this one. Oh wait, I shouldn't have opened that. I should read the thank you card first. Nice handwriting. Congrats at just another comic show. Here is your custom $100 mystery box. Thank you for letting me participate in your challenge. I've pulled together a batch of 15 comics for you from my personal collection. I chose books that I really enjoy myself. I hope you like what I picked for you. Enjoy. Ben Parker Comics. So this one's interesting. I haven't dealt with Ben Parker on IG necessarily. So it was a nice surprise for him to enter the tournament. And I think he did fairly well. Let's see what we got. Should I do the 3 cards in the back and throw away the online code? Don't call me Superboy. Standoff. Brash style. Easy targets. That's my game ID. Easy target. Not because of this card. Crisis awaits. Heroic challenge. Righteous rage. Supergirl. Alright. Oh boy. This pack was already opened. That means that gum's gonna be real good. Okay, what do we have? We have a quiz card. What is Poison Ivy able to control? Plants. What is Batman's weapon of choice? It's also embedded into Clown Hunter's whacking staff. I believe that's a bangarang. What does Commissioner Gordon use to call Batman? A whistle? No. The bat signal. What sport is Killer Croc especially good at? Okay. Given how easy the first 3 were, that last one I would have never got right. Wrestling. There's a little puzzle. Where do I put this? A little puzzle. Joker. A little foldy character of Mr. Freeze. We've talked about Mr. Freeze. We've talked about Batgirl while reviewing stuff. There's the Dark Knight, which later would mean more. Airborne Battle with Penguin of all people. I'm gonna try use these 55 cents on any Eskimo pie. Do they still make Eskimo pie? Alright, here we go, people. The good news is the gum is sealed in its own bag. Oh man, I ate some gum the other day out of a comic card lot, and it just crumbled, and this is already crumbling. I know this wasn't part of the deal, but now you know. If you send me comic cards, I'm gonna open them. If you send me gum, I'm gonna eat it. Okay, I'm taking this size. Not good, guys. Yeah, too big. Yeah. Oh. Ah. Gross. Alright, if you like this blind box, be sure to thumbs up the video. It's not for the content that I'm making, but the content of the blind box, because whoever gets the most votes, they will win the People's Choice Award, which is really awesome, which I will be announcing on Instagram today. Alright, people. So gross. Bye.